for some reason I've decided to wait until this week to make all of the Christmas presents that I was planning on making. So let's get started. So, I need to make 3 Christmas presents before I go home
in a week.
And they are all of varying difficulties. First, I need to make my mom the skyline dress. When she came to visit me, we started sewing together and we got all of her pieces cut out. We got her fabric choice. We sewed like 2 panels and then she had to leave. So I've decided that for Christmas, I'm going to finish that dress for her. Secondly, I bought my sister this fabric a long time ago because it's cute tigers and it made me think of her. And I'm going to make her a quilted makeup bag out of this.
Do I know how to do that?
No, but we can figure it out. Third, I want to make my sister a coaster or maybe bag organizer out of some of this blue fabric. First things first, we need to figure out how to make a makeup bag, how much quilting batting I need to buy, a zipper probably I should buy. We just need to do some research. This is my least favorite part of sewing, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Let's go. And of course by research, I literally just meant scrolling the internet for different links and reading half tutorials and then watching intros to different YouTube videos. My research, I've watched 3 minutes of a YouTube video, so that makes me an expert in the subject. No, but for real, I have enough fabric to follow this tutorial. We need to buy more quilting batting. We need a zipper. Just too many things to hold in my brain. Also, I know that this is completely unrelated, so bear with me, but I have been working on this dress behind the scenes. The last thing I have to do is hem the bottom, and I'm gonna do that right now because it bothers me. And yes, I have other more important things to do, and I know what you're saying, but I don't even care, so I'm gonna do it anyway. And yes, it's another skyline dress, but it is so cute and such a cute pattern. Anyways, if you're also wondering why I'm not ironing down this seam, it's because we used my iron to transport a casserole at Thanksgiving and then left it at my friend's house. So I just don't have an iron right now. So, yeah, there's that. Anyways, let's go to Joann's. I wandered through the Christmas decorated halls of Joann's and finally got what I needed and then headed back home to watch the rest of that tutorial and yap at you some more. Hello, I'm back. First thing that I'm gonna do is cut out and start quilting. The tutorial that I watched all of it now, so you can say that I have 12 minutes of expertise instead of just 3.
Aren't you proud of me?
And so with all of that knowledge, I got to cutting out my fabric and immediately did it wrong. Oh my gosh. It's 32 centimeters wide, if you were wondering, and 50 centimeters long. Can you tell that I'm an expert? Because I'm definitely an expert. And so with measurements finally correct, I got to cutting out this fabric and quilting it. I decided to quilt with 1.5 inch straight line, so I just measured that out with my straight edge and then sewed down the quilting batting on this fabric. And this BB apparently wants to talk to you about books. Let me tell you about what I'm reading. I am currently not reading anything fun. I'm currently reading The Anxious Generation, more for work. I'm running a book club on it, but also it's a really interesting read. I don't usually read nonfiction. I'm more of a fiction girly. You know, books are for fun. They're for escaping reality. So I need some fun fiction recommendations. Specifically, I'm looking for like fantasy. So if you have thoughts, leave them in the comments and help me have fun again. Also, since filming this video, I have actually started reading a new fun fantasy series, Daughter of No Worlds. I'm on the 2nd one and I would recommend, even though I have a feeling it's going to be devastating in the end, I'm still having a good time. The tutorial I use, by the way, I will link down below, and here is the link also at the top. I don't know if I would totally recommend this method of doing it. I think there's probably an easier way to finish the seams without having to bias bind all of them, which is what I had to end up doing later, but I do like how this bag turned out and I think it looks really cute. And the bias binding does add some like extra strength to the box bag, so I don't know. You know, I'm only an expert for like the 13 minutes, so maybe don't listen to me. I don't know. Anyways, here's me on the next day. Hello. So let me show you what progress we made yesterday. Yesterday, I finished quilting Sally's makeup bag and I added this pink zipper to the outer fabric, but on the inside, it's just the quilting batting. I cut out some lining in this bright pink. I think it's gonna look really good. So I think the next step is to connect the lining to the zipper, flip it all, and then top stitch right next to the zipper.
And then I have no idea.
And so I was just living on a prayer following this tutorial and was absolutely gobsmacked when it worked. I don't know if this is correct, but this is what the tutorial just said to do. So I just sewed this to this side of the zipper. Wait, that actually makes sense, because then when you flip it, brilliant! Come here, I'll show you what I'm doing. I have the right side fabric connected to the zipper, and then I laid this fabric down, right side of this facing to the wrong side of the zipper, and then we'll roll it over and sew it here. By some
Close to you.
By some dark magic, I think this is gonna work, and I hope that through all that rambling, you understood like maybe 25% of what I was saying, but if you didn't, this is the video I was just using, and I will link it down below if you want to make your own with an actual instruction instead of with me also figuring it out. But if you want to watch me mess up so that you don't also mess up, then keep watching, because I'll probably mess up eventually. Actually, shockingly, I didn't mess up when I made this bag. However, when I did make a second one for a Christmas party with my friends, I did indeed mess up, because I thought I've made it before, so I don't need to rewatch the tutorial. Silly BB. I should have rewatched the tutorial. But anyways, I spent the rest of this night closing the bag and getting a few other things done with some bias binding. Hello. It is now like 9 p.m. I've gotten some really good sewing done. Here's the bag so far. One side, it's a square, and then obviously I've not done these corners. Oh, also I added a little tag. Says Tada on it. I'm really excited about this bag because as I'm sewing it, I just know how much my sister will like it, and so that makes me really happy. I usually just sew for myself or sew pretty chaotically. I taught myself how to sew. When I started, I was just like sewing random stuff. Anything I could find on the internet that I wanted to make, I would just try to make. Which you know, if you watched my videos, it was just like random and chaotic. So I feel like this year of sewing, this is my second year since I've taught myself, I like kind of am making things for the first time that I actually want or are usable or that I would keep or that I would gift. So this is like high enough quality to give to someone, and that's crazy. Sewing is so cool. It's like a superpower. Anyways, let me show you the inside. So these are the two corners that you just saw that are making it boxy. So what I need to do now is trim both of these corners and then bias tape those and then do those steps over here, and then it'll be done. So maybe we should just finish it right now. Maybe. I finished 2 of our 4 bag corners yesterday, so all we have to do is get cracking on these last 2 unfinished corners by cutting out some bias binding and putting them together. I originally thought that I had way more fabric than I needed. I had a 1/4 yard of this fabric, but since I've been having to cut out so much bias binding, I only have this much left, which is still like a good amount of fabric, but I definitely could not have made like 2 of these bags out of a 1/4. Just keep that in mind for your fabric yardage if you want to make this. Anyways, that was a lot of rambling, but hopefully helpful rambling. With all that rambling out of the way, I got to cutting out the last 2 pieces of bias binding out of the leopard fabric and attaching them to those 2 unfinished seams, and then later that night I started the skyline dress for my mom while getting a little distracted by takeout, but not too distracted. I got the top done, and here's BB to show you what I completed and also tell you a little bit more about the skyline dress pattern. I got the front panels connected and the front bias binding on. I'm not explaining this in a cohesive or easy way for you to understand what the pattern actually does, but if you are curious, you can watch this video of me making it before, and I will also link Sydney Graham's channel and tutorial and all of her resources down below. She is just like an amazing resource for sew waste. If you're looking for really good patterns that will look very professional and are very fun, she's just... I didn't get as far along as I would have liked last night because I ran into a problem-solving moment and I needed to problem solve, but it was past like 8:30 p.m. and for me, that part of my brain is just gone. I don't really problem solve past 8:30 p.m.
I just went to bed.
The problem that I had to solve is that I didn't cut out the amount of strap pieces for this pattern. I got only 1 for each strap instead of 2, so I had to dig through my fabric stash to find a fabric that would match because I was out of the original fabric. Okay, so the situation is that the small strap will definitely fit on the bias of this red. It's not a perfect red match, but it's close enough for me to be satisfied with. But for the long strap, I'm just gonna have to cut it not on the bias. That is not ideal, but it's not the biggest problem in the world. Can you tell that I'm just kind of like a good enough crafter? Because I definitely am. While we're on the subject of being like a good enough crafter, I honestly think it's an okay thing. Like, yes, my projects don't turn out kind of as perfect as other people's, and some of the finer details are not as seamless, but in general, I think it means that I'm just going with the flow, taking it as it is, and like being okay. And I think there's some kind of balance when you're crafting. Like, I really do think that the first thing that you knit or sew or crochet or whatever craft you're doing honestly is going to be atrocious. And I think you just have to get it out of you. You just have to let it be bad and then move on. Like, when I think about the first year of everything I sewed, I really don't use any of those first creations because they're not very good. Like, the seams are not well finished, the stitches are pretty uneven, but that's okay because now I feel like I'm actually sewing stuff that I enjoy, and I can actually sew well enough that I feel good actually giving people gifts. Did I even show you? Oh my gosh. Look at it. Ah. I finished my sister's bag also, and that's probably pretty obvious by this point. Okay, that's enough yapping from me. Let's get back to the sewing and the apparently being very distracted by the show I was watching at the current moment. Are they gonna fall in love? I spent the last few days of that week chaotically packing and also getting equally distracted by Dimension 20 and Arcane while sewing the rest of this dress. I added the straps to the bodice and then I did all of the skirt panels. This dress is a lot of gathering stitches and then connecting those gathers to the correct panels, and for some reason I just get so annoyed with gathering stitches. For some reason I push them off so much, so it always takes me longer than it really should to do the skyline dress, but the overall effect is really beautiful and I love it. So I was really happy with this result. And then I got home and I still had not finished the coaster that I was making for my sister, but I decided instead to sew a whole nother boxy makeup bag for me and my friends had a little Secret Santa moment. So I decided to do that, and I am planning on finishing the coaster eventually, but there it is right there. And this is Bibi to tell you about how she is planning on making that bag with this machine that my mom thrifted. Hello and welcome. So this is our current setup. I
don't know. Everybody, I don't really know.
This is a Singer 2517C. If that means anything to you, it means nothing to me. It's a little bit different in the setup than mine is. Okay, I have the machine threaded. I
don't feel great
about what's about to happen. The machine has been making some noise, and when I turn the handle, it's like slow internally. We're gonna see if this runs and if it's okay and if it works. There's nothing else to say, let's just give it a go. Also, this is as fast as it can go. As you can guess from my face in this clip, I did not end up using that sewing machine to finish that bag. Instead, I borrowed my mother-in-law's and I finished that bag in time for the Secret Santa. And here are how all of the things turned out. The Christmas bag looks so cute. I did make a little mistake, so you can tell that it came out a little bit smaller than the one I made for my sister. So that's on me for growing a little overconfident after making something once. But I still think it's really cute and I love how the leopard bag came out. I also knit my dad and my nephew sweaters. I did that all off camera, but it was really fun and they turned out really cute. And then of course my mom's dress came out so cute and she looks amazing in it, and she was even wearing it to her Mahjong game this week, which I thought was so cute. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please feel free to subscribe if you would like to enjoy some more crafting chaos, and I will see you next time you're feeling crafty. Bye! It waits for you. So, what am I doing? Yeah, put my feet. That's not my machine. What are you looking at even? Bro. Okay. What was I yapping about? How do I feel the bomb and it doesn't tell me? Singing makes me feel slightly better about not knowing what I'm doing. Whop!